Hey, hello there. Welcome to another class. Let me just check if the sound is okay. Hello, hello. Hey, hello there. Welcome. Okay, this sounds good. So today we'll solve the question number 4. Let's move this here. I already prepared it. And most of the question that we are doing here is like when you start to do a new sport, you go to a boxing gym. You're still gonna have a lot of like workout before you start to really learn the proper technique. You're gonna do like jumping cord and then exercise, push up, pull up, movements. And this is what we're doing here. We are just prepare our mind to what is coming. We are learning the basic very slowly and very well because I want everyone to be able to follow this. This is not a train for super smart people that pick stuff like that. So it's for you, someone that is like me, that had time to really understand, to get through all the details. So the question is, read 5 integer numbers and print the biggest one. We already did something similar, and this is very common in our area, that we get a new specification, new requirement, a new project, and that project, there is some component that is very similar to what we learn. We just need to adapt. So daily we do stuff like this. We already have a start point. So for example, here we are reading 3 numbers. I said, okay, I already did something like that. I will copy this, I will paste it here. And I will just do a little change here. As we're gonna be type a little bit, I will just call N1, N2, N3. And then you're gonna understand why. And then I change to 2 more. No, so 4 and 5. And I need to fix here as well. Our brain will prepare for the most problem that we face daily. So is that why something that you have to work in your mind? You are in a meeting, people talk about a problem, and then in your mind you see if else and all that, and then read, write, print, and then sometimes you have to shut that down and focus on really understand the problem before you start to code. But right now we are with that mindset. We have to everything translate to code. So we already learned how to do this for 3. What is different for 5? Sometime when we get a bigger number, more stuff to do, we have to think, oh, now it's easier to see why one solution is better than the other. So let's solve this the way that we did before. We already learned about the equals that we have to compare. So what I can do here is, okay, let's ask if number 1 is greater than number 2 and number 1 is greater than number 3 or greater than equal. I said one thing and I was typing something else. And number 1 greater than number 4 and number 1 greater or equals than number 5. As you can see, in this case, using the variables just with n make it easier to type, to read, to understand. Some people like to do like this. Instead of having just one line, break it down like this, because then we can see, whoa, I can see here that is number 1 compared to all the others. This is taste. I like this, the way that is here. And then we can say, okay, if all those 4 tests, if number 1 is greater than number 2, 3, 4, and 5, we may assume that the biggest one, the highest one, is, oh, right line, is number 1. If that is not true, then we'll check something else. What will be something else? Any number. But to follow a nice, like, logical order, we'll check number 2. Number 2 is greater than number 2 is greater than equal to number 1, and let's use that same format. And number 2 is greater or equal than number 3, and number 2 is greater or equal to number 4, and number 2 is greater than equal to number 4. And you can see now how easy it is to do some mistakes. So then, as more we do coding, we learn to pay attention to this. I know that here has to be all any1s. Here will be the other one, any2, any3, and 45. All any2s, and then all the other ones, except any2, of course, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we learn that ability. So if that is true, what you do, we do this. Print number 2. And now we can do this. Okay, what I'm doing here is not the best thing to do. Every time you are doing something like this, you learn that is a signal that there is something else better to do. But let's just do this. Okay, now I'm change, and then I'll change here for number 3, 3, 3, 3. Sometimes code is like this. There is a part that is thinking, but there is other part that is not. Okay, so checking again, number 3 greater than the other 4. And then we can do again. So now it will be number 4, all those. And then here will be 1, 2, 3, and 5. So make everything beautiful. We can do like this. Some people prefer to do like this. Oh, to make better, I put the else in the other line. So it's easy for me to see all the if. Let me just fix this. Just showing some different ways to format your code. These are not change your program at all, but just is an easy way to see that we are testing all 5 numbers, all 4 numbers so far. And then we can say, okay, in the last case, let's just see else, and then we'll print number 5. And then I already spot something here that we forgot to fix those. I copy and paste, and then I forgot to fix it. Most of IDEs, this one I didn't put yet, but you can right click and say format the code for me. I don't think I have a plugin for this here. So I do by hand. So what I do here is, okay, so look how many lines of code we wrote. 21 to 50. So almost 30 lines, okay, 29, something like that. So does it solve the problem? Probably yes, we're gonna test. Let's see if it makes sense. We are checking, we can, some people like to like this as well. We'll keep it this, the same line, but let's keep it that way. I think it's. So let's check if it makes sense. Well, if all those 4 assumptions or all those 4 relations are true, if n1 is greater than all the others, we can safely print n1. If not, we can check if any2 is greater than all the others, then we're gonna print any2. If not, else, pay attention that this if else can be anywhere, like could be like this. I agree that this is the most common way to do this. So maybe the tests are not perfectly aligned. Do you see this? Like to be aligned, I need to do something like this. But we're gonna deal with this later on. So there is many different ways to organize. Some people from Java, from Python have different opinions. But this is what we're doing. And you can put some comments. Something like this. Checking if number one is the greatest. Oops, sorry. Go here. And then you can come here and put a comment. Could be something like this, for example, else, and then put a comment here. Check if number two. Oh, here is number one. Here is number two. And so, okay, so let's just keep put here, so make easy for us later on too. Go here, I just make a new line to add this. Number three. And then number four. Number three, number four. And then in this else, I could put a comment, assume number five is the greatest. So it does make sense. Some people is very picky where do things should be, all these alignments. I am sometime, but with time, you're gonna learn to be flexible because you're gonna be work with code with different people, got legacy code, there is all kind of different thing. So you learn, okay, let me just be ready to read all type of like code, make it easy for me. So don't waste too much time. Of course, in your code, be careful to follow one pattern. So what you need to do now, okay, let's test some example. I already changed our entry point to question number 5, and let's just run it. I not even put a break. No, let's put a breakpoint so we can see how it goes. And let's go to our happy path. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna test. Is number 1 the greatest one? No. Is it number 2? No. Is it number 3? No. Unless there is something wrong with our logic, we should land in the last one, number 5. Okay, now let's run it again. And let's put something like 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So now pay attention. Number 1 will be greater than all the others. So this will be true. We'll print number 1, and then we're gonna leave it. We'll learn later on a very handy way to do all those tests without need to be running all the time. I want you to feel the pain that you need to run this all the time. We'll learn something called test-driven development, or design is even better, where we'll prepare our code in a way that we can test our automatic, and we'll build our test case even before we start to code. However, even to be able to write nice test case, you need to learn how to code. Is that why we are learning just pure coding right now? So let's run again. And let's put something like this is 2, 3, 5, 1, and 4. So number 3 is the greatest one. So this will be false, this will be false, this will be true. We will print number 3. And remember, this is a else. Then we jump everything there. If we want to visually make sure that this tell us what happened, we could put our code in a way that goes like this. When I learn how to code, we'll have to do something like this. For example, this else will be here. And then this else if will be a little bit here. So we move this way to make it easier for us to see where is the next command. But this way is not that bad because you can do like this. Okay, if I have a if with several else if anyone else at the end. I know that the end will be right at the end of whatever is inside of this, or we call nested if. So if this is true, I know that I will jump everything else. See, I can just click there, I'm gonna jump here. So if I put something like here at the end, console.writeLine and of the cool. However, now I hope will be even more evident that there is a better way to do this. It's not going to be very, very clean, but instead of all this, what we could do, we could get some, let's create a variable and let's call this like max. And then we could start something like this, math dot max of number 1 and number 2. So we have now whoever is the greatest between number 2 and number 1 and number 2. Now we can say that max will be, or we receive math. This math is a library with a lot of mathematical operations. And then max with this variable here, max, and then number 3. So now we are in this point with the max between number 1, 2, and 3. And now we update max with math.max, max itself, and then number 4. And then max will receive the max of max and number 5. This order here could be inverse, could be any 3 first, max later, after. So because this gets 2 parameters and will return the highest one. We will learn how to create those things. It's called function or method or operation or procedure or subprogram or routine. We're going to learn all about that. So what happened here is we are writing way less code, but we are not using if else. That is the goal of this model. But I'm just showing that there is most of the time a better way to write our code that is simpler and easier. So now we can just say pipeline and then max. Let's just run and do a quick test to see if, let's put a breakpoint there. And then let's put like 1, 2, 5, 4, and 3. This part we already saw, so I will let it go. We print 5. Now what happened? This variable, max, is going to have the max between N1 and N2. So in this case, it will be 2. Now we're going to get the max of the same variable that now is 2 in N3, that N3 is 5. So the max will be 5. Now you say, okay, who is the max? What we have so far or the number 4? We'll get 5 because it's the same. And then we do again with 3. So do you see here we have 5 and here we have 3. Now when we print, we're going to print the max, that will be 5. So let's just put something here to, I say something like this. Method 1 using nested ifs. And here will be method 2 using math.max. So imagine that you are in an interview or you are interviewing people. Of course, this is not, there is something closer to this, but sometimes a candidate writes this solution. And the candidate is happy, oh, I was able to solve it. Happened many times. We do an interview and you realize, oh, I nailed it. And then later on, yourself figure out, oh my God, I had a way better to do it. Or you ask to a friend or you talk, you're going to Google it. And then someone show up, I solved this way. So as an interviewer, which candidate would you choose? I know that is not the only reason to choose someone, but this guy has a stronger application, stronger uh, output. So is that why it's important for us, even using AI or not, if we see something like this, oh, can I improve it? Can I make it easier? Of course, this one here does work. And in some time, some case, people will even prefer the longer ones. Say, oh, this one for me is easier to follow up. In this case, I guess no. No one is going to say, oh, I 100% of the time do this way instead of this. Now the only reason to do this, and remember, if you miss one of those, we have a bug. We already saw this in the last class, that this can go to this can be like a false, we go to another thing, another set of tests, and this is not what we expect. So I have to pay attention. Oh, I'm printing number 1, or number 2, or number 3, or number 4, and number 5. And each one is protected for one of those checking. So this is what we're doing in our code. We are getting input, doing nested selection, use expression, and based on the result is true, we print. If it's false, we continue testing. This is one of the base of program. When we learn if and later on repetition, then we can say, oh, someone is a programmer. Everything else is just knowledge. It's like how to use new technique to make our life easier. But the core, the fundamental of coding is learn how to use if and while or for that we're going to learn soon. Cool. So I hope this was clear. Doesn't hurt to go to AI. It's the end of the day. Maybe I'm tired. I did some mistake here. And say, I am learning code and I just complete this exercise. Review it and let me know if there is a better way to solve it. There are some better ways to solve using like sorting, using arrays that we didn't learn yet. Let's see how far AI is going to do, because I said I'm learning code. Maybe he's going to figure out, oh, this is all he knows, so I don't need to go deeper. But let's see. And of course, he knows that I'm talking about the question 4 because it's what is here. Yeah. Okay, let's see here what they say. Great exercise, your code worked correctly, and like that you show 2 different approaches. Here's my review. Method 1, nest if, works but is verbose and hard to maintain. If you need 100 numbers instead of 5, this would become impractical. Method 2, max, better, more readable and scalable. However, we learned this is not suitable for 100 numbers as well. We learn way better ways that we can just put 1 line, 2 lines, and solve this for 100 numbers. Okay, so he's given an example using array that we didn't learn yet, but we will learn it. So that is the danger for whoever is learning AI. When you are using AI, when you are learning coding, when you are using AI, does not have the context, what you know and not. So in this case was good, the first part, and there is some solution that we'll learn later on. So in about 1 month, we'll be able to understand all this and do better ways. It's like this, we could just do these 2 lines, and then regardless how many numbers we have, we could just solve like this. But don't get scared now. This is easier than what we did here, and you learn it. Cool? Okay, so I hope I didn't scare you with all this code here, but I want you to already learn that there is always different ways to create a program. And some ways are way simpler than the others. Cool. So thank you for watching. God bless you. See you next class. And some ways are way simpler than the others.